Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
So I would say, what has motivated you through like to get started with makeup? Because I know you and your mother. If those don't know, your mother is very, very
Oh, mom, say
artistic.
hi.
Hey, mama. You come from a very artistic background. Do you think that was something that's actually influenced your brand and
Oh,
as a makeup
definitely.
artist?
Definitely. Because my mom's the one who got me into makeup, I want to say, for real.
Hmm.
Because I always watched her, do her face. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I was always the artistic child and I was always drawing portraits and stuff. I loved the human face. And I was just like, I'm
Hmm.
really going to get into that. And she got me makeup books. And I always tell this story, she got me the Sam Fine makeup book.
So I want to fast forward to your recent accomplishment, and I want to talk about it.
Hmm.
So it's called Sephora Squad. You've been a
Ah,
semi-finalist for Sephora Squad. Am I correct?
yes, yes, yes,
So explain
yes.
to
I
us
mean,
what is Sephora Squad.
Squad is basically a huge opportunity to be a part of a team based with Sephora. Huge, I want to say like it's not just for influencers, honestly, but it's like an influencer based. Well, now it's a competition, and then
Mm-hmm.
whoever makes it to the finals and stuff, like they select. I want to say like 20 influencers and artists and
Okay.
creatives out of that, or and maybe less than that, I'm not sure. And huge business opportunities with every single brand you can think of.
Wow.
Fly you out, you shoot content, go to different events. Um, paid at that,
Come
paid.
on, get paid. We're gonna get to that. When did you know for sure you knew how much your worth was?
When I realized that certain people were starting to take advantage of me,
Mm-hmm.
especially since when you first start out in this business, sometimes you don't want to charge as much because you're like, okay, I'm still getting better. I'm starting at bottom of the barrel right now. Let me work my way up. A lot of people start to take advantage of that. And then it's just a whole realization of realizing your self worth. I was like, you know what? Like, I should be charging more. I should be making this much amount of money, especially since I'm putting this much amount of money back into my business.
That we're able to work with a lot of great people that have a lot of content that has gone viral on social media, which have gotten a lot of attention from different influencers, celebrities. And speaking of
Mhm.
one local celebrity you worked with the Real Housewives, Giselle Bryant. So how
Yes,
did that
yes,
come
yes,
about
yes.
and being her makeup artist?
One day, like later on, I want to say like months later, Gabby texted me and she was like, um, she was like, my boss is looking for makeup artists for this event that we're doing for her brand, blah blah blah. Really, really think you'd be a great like person to join in, and please let me know if you know any other makeup artists who would like to come and help
Uh huh.
out, and it's paid and whatever. Like, okay, cool. Like I didn't know who it was for, none of that. I was like, fine, yeah, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah,
She
I'll
was
do it.
like,
It doesn't matter.
I was like, yeah, sure, free time.
Ain't no
So,
problem.
so I was like, just let me know any more details that I may need to know about this. She was like, yeah. So, it's for Every Hue Beauty, and I was like, hold on, I know that brand, and I was like, oh, that's Miss Giselle's brand. Oh,
Real
okay,
Housewives brand.
yeah. I was like, I'm doing it, great.
For a lot of entrepreneurs who are trying to get to that level, what is some advice you could give to them to market themselves to make sure they're seen by these big old influencers?
Um, First things first, you have to be yourself. People are attracted to genuine energy. I
Mm-hmm.
always feel. Also, don't be afraid to network. So every single connection you'll ever make in life, that's like you know, it's through someone else, and
Yeah.
it's like a big old tree. So
Hmm.
definitely don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because I put myself out there like.
Yeah.
But yeah, and just be confident in yourself. I feel like that's the base and the foundation that you truly need in order to work your way up.
Who is someone that's reached out to you that you never expected would besides Miss Giselle? Because I know I see
um
on Twitter JoJo was tweeting you, and I
uh,
was like, okay, now you getting some action from JoJo.
that's Fred.
People are seeing you.
um I want to say between JoJo and Missy Elliott, because um
Can we get some clapping
for
emojis for
for
that?
for a
Come
minute,
on.
I was like, me and Jacob love JoJo, first of all, and we were just like, you know what, we gotta work with her, we gotta find out a way, have to. So,
Hmm.
me putting myself out there on Twitter, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna try to figure out a way to DM her, email her people, whatever got to do to get with her. And so
Exactly.
eventually, I believe she liked one of my tweets. I can't remember
Hmm.
if it was, yeah, it was one of my tweets, and I posted my work and reached out to her, and she liked it, she commented on it, and then she followed me, and I was like, oh.
Oh, oh,
And
wow.
next thing you know, she's just liking all my stuff back and forth, and um, one day I posted another one of my client work, and she was like, I can't wait to work with you when I come to DMV, when I come to the area, and I was like,
Fine.
If they
I'm
don't know
trying.
about you, they better know about you now because soon the
Hello.
prices are going to go up, up, and we ain't going to be able to afford you, my
Hello.
guy. I'm going to need a shoe. We need to work. I
Yes.
want to go ahead and ask you, when was the first time you picked up a camera and knew, okay, photography's my niche, photography's my thing?
Um, it was my ninth grade year of high school, so my brother passed down his camera to me, and I would just take it with me to school. So I was just framework, so everyone would stay after school and like take pictures, and I was like, dang, like I can actually be doing this because I always wanted to do something creative. Like I first tried to act, that flopped, like acting in like middle school, and stuff like that. I used to like draw and paint, stuff like that. That flopped as well. Never felt like doing it, like really committing to it. So then photography just like stuck with
Really been
me.
working. That's amazing. Like how much money you can make off of just your natural talents. And some people are sometimes oblivious and nervous to take that next step because they don't know if they're gonna if it's gonna flip or is it gonna flop.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wasn't sure because at first I was like, because I talked down on it for so long, like about photography and stuff like that. And I never went to classes or anything, so I'm all self-taught. So that was when I really learned. I was like, dang, like business and creativity can go hand in hand.
Let them
So
know how old are you right now?
I'm 21.
21. Another 21-year-old doing this thing and killing. It's like what Disney Channel is doing now, but you're doing it for photography. So what made you come up with what day did that light hit in your head? Like, you know what, we can recreate the Proud Family. Let's go ahead
Oh,
and recreate Hey Arnold, us, all these other Rugrats, all these great shows that we grew up on. You brung it to life with a creative twist with your team, and it just boom, it went viral. So how
I
did that
don't
creative process
know.
come about?
I remember I remember before Joey and I were working together, we did like one photo shoot in like June, but then we shot Rugrats in August. So that whole like July gray area, I was asking other makeup artists, I was like, hey, would you be interested in doing, like a Rugrats shoot? Or, I was telling them all these ideas I had, and everyone was like, no, that's crazy. Like, we don't want to do that, or they didn't believe in it. And I was like, yeah, ask Joey, and Joey's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. And I don't know where we got our inspiration from, but we were just talking about like we were just doing research on like the show, and then we would look up like we would look at like runway looks, and we were trying to think like how can we apply this to the photo shoot, and how could we make this into a real life thing? Like how can we turn our childhood into a reality? So, and I never thought that a lot of like channels whatever weren't doing um, reboots per se. Like
Mm-hmm.
Proud Family they started doing like a reboot as soon as we did a shoot. Rugrats started talking about that, like doing Rugrats like new stuff, and it was just funny because no one's really giving representation to these programs that actually meant something. So like Proud Family is really big on diversity. Rugrats it wasn't that diverse, but I do think that there was like we were like kind of different towards Susie, the black character. So it just felt so different to do that and give representation to our people. So I thought it was
You're
really
talking
important.
about a real iconic moment you've had. Now, it's great to see people in the DMV going out of their comfort zone and traveling and doing a lot of
And
iconic things. And I think I know where I think you know where I'm going to hit on. I want to talk about
probably.
your LA experience because I feel like that's when that's when I feel like we have potential, we have faith in you, but seeing that just claimed everything that we knew about you. So
Really
you got
good,
to
yeah, for
work
sure.
Meek Mill's Grammy party, and you also got to work Diddy's birthday. So explain to us, how was that Grammy Diddy LA experience? Starting off with the Meek Mill Grammy party. How was that?
It was, they all were, I don't know what the right word would be because LA is so different, where LA is very like shady and like it's a very different like playground. So for me, I can do it because when I go out there, I'm really going out there to work. So I'm just going out there straight to work. I have the right mindset. I would go with my hairstylist, so she's always on the same page. and we're like, we're not gonna mess around. We're not doing none of that stuff because um, one of the managers, he's a big LA manager. He was telling us months prior in October. He was like, you know, if you want to make it big, you have to go to LA because I don't really understand it, but he was like, when you go to LA, it's a much bigger network. It's much more influence, and people are kind of like look down on influencers, but they really are, where you need to be because if you want to reach a bigger audience, they have that power, they have that influence. So working with people of bigger influence and getting to these events really made me showed me that like networking is really important. But it's just weird. Like LA is just different.
Definitely. So how were you able to even get into the Meek Mill Grammy party? How were you able to shoot with that? So I know a lot of
So
photographers were wondering like how do people get these shoots? Like what are the proper steps you took to get yourself in that limelight?
yeah, so again, it's just networking. So when Lori's manager came to DC in October, that's when I
And
worked with Lori
Lori, you're talking
Harvey.
about Lori Harvey, correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
you
So
worked with Lori Harvey.
yeah, so when they came that weekend, he was talking to us about, just getting out there, and he knew how hard we worked when we were there in DC, when he was there in DC. So when we came to LA, I was like, hey, I'm in LA this weekend. Let me know if there's anything going on. Because I didn't even know Diddy's party was going on. I found it an hour before. So literally an hour before, he called me. He was like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, just wrapped up a shoot. And he was like, well, Diddy's party's an hour. Do you want to work it? And I was like, yeah, I do. So I really had to lock in because I was like, oh my gosh, this is my first time doing like a celebrity event. But I also hate event photography because it's like you can't control the setting. You never know how it's going to be. Like sometimes it can be really dark in there, it can be really light, and it was just so much pressure because if I'm going in that type of setting and that type of area, you want to be on your best behavior. For one, you don't want to be you don't want to be geeking over people. Um, you want to make sure you're on your P's and Q's, and you're also bringing your best product and your service. So like I had my cards on me at all times. People were asking me like, "Oh, who are you?" Because I was so young. So even like Naomi Campbell, when we walked past each other, she was like looking like right through me because I kind of felt like she was looking at me like, "Who is this young like photographer?" Because everyone else, all the photographers were like 50, 60, like 40. Everyone's really old. So for me to be working, I'm like, "Oh
You're
my
the
gosh!"
youngest photographer in the room.
Yeah, seriously, like the youngest person in the room actually. So I was like, "Dang!" Like I'm the youngest person here, and um, I was like, "Dang!" Like it showed to me that one, he was right about LA being the right network, but then also I learned that what's for you is for you.
How
So
do you deal with the negativity of like people not understanding your worth and always second guessing your pricing? And because a lot of entrepreneurs, I think we all go through that where people just don't understand our worth, but we have
for sure,
accolades and a resume and money we put into ourselves to make ourselves valued at that level.
absolutely. So yeah, for me, I learned that you have to put your foot down for one, and you need to demand respect. So if people aren't respecting you, demand it.